Hi YouTube, long time no talk. It's been a month or so, but we are back and it is day one of training for the Big Sur Marathon. The day is Monday, December 11th. I just had 4 miles easy. It was disgusting and rainy outside, but it was a good way to start off marathon training, I suppose, with something that was kind of hard because Big Sur is gonna be hard. Eat breakfast, shower off, and get less like a hag, and then we will talk about Big Sur. I'm so excited to share details with you guys and take you along this journey. Making these videos for the New York Marathon was so much fun, and I'm gonna do the same thing for Big Sur. We have a lot to catch up on. I will chat with you guys in a little bit. Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to train for the Big Sur Marathon. Let's get into some updates because the last time I chatted with you, I just finished running the New York City Marathon, so I've had a few weeks to sort of refresh and reset. You guys know for Big Sur Marathon, I trained with my physical therapist Mike and my run coach Mary. So for the Big Sur Marathon, this is going to be a partnership with HOKA. So I'm training with one other HOKA Global Athlete Ambassador, Hella. You probably know him. Hella is so incredible. He's had a run streak for years. He's run across America. He's run so many different races, including 100-mile races. I've never met Hella to this day, but I'm so excited to meet him through this program. So Hella and I are going to be mentors to about 10 different media professionals and journalists for this Media Marathon Network program that HOKA is putting on. All of us that are participating in the Big Sur Marathon program are getting coached by Coach Ben Rosario. Ben is the current executive director of the HOKA NAZ Elite team, which is the professional running team that HOKA has. They're based out of Flagstaff, Arizona. So during this program, we're actually going to get to go travel to Arizona to go train with Ben in person and meet everyone else since we are kind of training across the country. This is a redemption race for me. As you guys know, I got injured when I was training for Big Sur in 2023. So I'm really excited to attack this race. I've learned a lot from New York. I've learned a lot about my body and gotten a lot stronger and just more comfortable with running and running distance. I think when I signed up for Big Sur last year, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like running a marathon. I think also I have these preconceived notions in my head of what a runner looks like, specifically a distance runner. And I'm 6 feet tall, I'm a little bit bigger than the average runner. So I thought that, I don't know if my body's going to agree with me running that much distance. You know, some people can do it and they have no injuries, they have no pain. I've kind of had a lot of injuries since I ever have started running, but I've realized that a lot of the injuries have come from me not having adequate muscle and not eating enough, and also not having, you know, physical therapy and knowledge of my body. And I've just gained so much body awareness that I feel so confident going into this race. Now, the total elevation of the course is a bit crazy. The hills are rolling. You run up Highway 1 in Big Sur, California. There are no spectators at this race. So you kind of got to just be in your own world. The elevation gain is about 2,500 feet and the elevation loss is about the same. The biggest incline is about like 900 feet. And as a reference point, if you maybe live in New York City, running over the Williamsburg Bridge is about 190 feet of elevation. So if you see anyone just running, you know, back and forth over bridges for the next 19 weeks, it's probably gonna be me. Part of this program with HOKA, there are a few new shoes that will be coming out in early 2024. They are under embargo, so I can't share much about the shoes, but throughout this training process, I'll be able to share with you guys, you know, my experience running in the shoes, and then when they do launch, I can share the model name and all of that fun stuff. Monday, December 11th, I have physical therapy with Mike after this. I'm gonna continue to see him weekly because Mike has just been such a great support system throughout my running journey. My coach Mary will still be programming my lifts. So she did my lifts in my running, but now since I'm doing my running program with Ben, she's just gonna complement the running with my lifts. So I sort of have a little team here. I feel very supported and very lucky, obviously, and very excited for this, but I feel like I'm in really good hands. New York City was a certain challenge getting off the injury, and then my dad passed away, and so I feel like, honestly, pretty invincible. I feel like I can do anything. If I was able to run New York 407, do it through all the shit that I had last year, the injury, my dad passing, I feel like Big Sur is gonna be a challenge, but it's something that I'm really excited for. And I think in the past, like I mentioned in ththese videos, I never would challenge myself. If I wasn't the best at something, I used to quit doing things. And I know that I'm not gonna be the fastest at Big Sur. I know that I'm not gonna run the hardest, whatever, but I'm gonna run me, and I'm really excited to take you guys along. So that's the program. I will keep you updated as I'm running. I had my first easy run today, 4 miles. I went over the Manhattan Bridge and back because you gotta get the elevation. And I'm gonna go to physical therapy, and then I'm gonna pick up a book for this series. I really enjoyed reading different books. It not only prompted me to be more, you know, diligent with my reading regimen, but it also allowed me to share, you know, what I've learned throughout the process. And I know a lot of people that watch my videos are also runners, or maybe they're just very health and wellness oriented, and I'm always loving to get book recommendations, and so I hope you guys really enjoyed it, kind of treating this like a little book club virtually. I go to physical therapy and I will share the book once I pick it up, but I'm so excited to be back on YouTube, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Morning. We just finished up a 5-mile run. I feel like shit. I feel like I have a sinus infection, so my run was not really fun. Run in a new shoe by HOKA. I will talk about it in a little bit. It's a prototype, so I can't share like the name or anything. It's day 2 of training for the Big Sur Marathon. Welcome back, everyone. I just took a really hot shower and I feel like that cleared my sinuses a little bit, but I do feel kind of under the weather, which is not cute. I think it's probably because yesterday I ran outside in the rain and I didn't really get much sleep this weekend, so we're fixing it. We're course correcting. As I mentioned earlier, I went out on a run today in a prototype for HOKA. So it's an unreleased shoe. I can't name it until next spring, but it's a racing shoe and it's the shoe that I'll be racing the Big Sur Marathon in. So it doesn't have the name on the shoe. I'm not allowed to tell you guys, but I ran in it and it was so bouncy and fun. And I don't feel like I've had that responsive or fast of a race shoe yet. I raced the New York City Marathon in the Mach X, and this was just like even faster than that shoe. So super excited for HOKA. This is going to be a really fun launch, and it's going to be really fun to be able to use this and then another training shoe that they sent me throughout the cycle and sort of like promote these things for them. But I'm going to make breakfast and then get on with my day. It's a Tuesday in New York City. It's December. It's been a very slow month for me content-wise because brands are low-key out of budget. So everyone's like, yeah, we don't have money. Let's talk in 2024. And I'm like, okay, as long as we will talk in 2024, I'm fine, besties, but it's a personal thing. So yeah, let's cook up some pancakes and sausage. Hi everyone, welcome to my floor. It's a Wednesday. A lot of the reason I don't film like a dynamic warm-up is because I do it in this little tiny spot in my apartment. But I'm doing it now and I figured I should chat with you guys. So I picked up the book for this video yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago. I started reading it. It's all about breathwork, which is something that I've been going to physical therapy for. Haven't really posted about it on the internet for no rhyme or reason. I just like don't think people care. But when I run, I'm actually pretty slouched over. So I tend to, you know, slouch because I'm probably 6 feet tall. I've always been kind of a giraffe and uncomfortable with it. Now I'm at the point where I'm like content with my height, even though, you know, dating sucks and there's a lot of short kings. I like being tall. But that being said, I do slouch a bunch. And so when you're slouching, when you're running like that, your lungs are restricted from using all the oxygen. So you want to be more open. And so we've been doing a lot of exercises where like my PT kind of pushes my diaphragm around with like ultrasound gel, which sounds crazy, but it's really been helping me engage my core, stand up taller, and just breathe better when I'm running. I'm also trying to nose breathe when I run. In the book, it talks about how bad mouth breathing is for you. And it is really hard to like only breathe through your nose when you're running, but I just try to do like check-ins kind of like throughout the run just to stay preoccupied, I suppose. Like there's no way that I'm nose breathing the whole time, like making that clear, but it's good to like check in with your body every now and then. My first week of running, it's run 3 of the week. We are feeling good, and I think I'm really excited about this marathon because last marathon, I would say the first probably 10 weeks, like majority of the program, I was stressed out about going on every single run. Every step I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna injure myself. And so a lot of the running, while it was enjoyable, it wasn't entirely stress-free. Like mentally, I was kind of a mess throughout that time. And now I'm just so excited that I trust my body. You know, I've done a marathon distance before and I'm not scared, which means I can just kind of turn off all those anxious thoughts and just really enjoy the process of running again. So we're gonna head out the door and then see where the day takes us. But yeah, do your dynamic warm up on your floor, especially because it gets you sweaty. Like it's 30 degrees outside and I'm probably just gonna wear 1 layer and see what happens, but let's go hit up a bridge. My bestie. All right, bye. Hello everyone, we're on the Upper East Side right now. I just went into a bookstore and I've kind of been meandering looking at Christmas stuff. Instagram is down right now, which, you know, is my occupation, and I have like a paid thing that's supposed to go live, and so I'm kind of frustrated by that because I don't want to like let down a brand, whatever. I think I'm gonna FaceTime my mom. I go home to Minnesota next week. Yeah, no really exciting notes. The holidays are gonna be interesting this year. First holiday without my dad. But, you know, we're gonna try to make nutritions and make the most of it, so. Hi everyone, it's a Thursday. Walking over the Williamsburg Bridge, lifted this morning. I'm going through it. Bad things keep coming up. I'm trying to stay positive and just going on a long walk, but I'm done with 2023. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's a Friday. We had a 5-mile run today and I want to talk a little bit about like coming back from an injury and performance. I talked a lot about my injury, but I never really opened up about how disheartening it was to just see yourself lose a lot of fitness and a lot of progress. I used to run probably 2 minutes per mile faster than what I'm able to run now. And I think I had in my mind that I'm never going to be able to get back there. You know, when I was running faster, I was a little bit thinner too, trigger warning. And so I don't know if that's why I was running faster or if I was just a better runner, but I know that even though I was faster, I got so many injuries, right? Like I was too thin, I didn't have good bone density, etc. I wasn't eating enough to keep up with my athletic performance. And so now 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later, when I'm in a little bit bigger of a body, I have more muscle mass in my body, I'm getting stronger. And I just had this very optimistic run today that I was like, maybe I come back better than I ever was. I was able to run a lot faster than I've been able to run kind of all throughout the New York City marathon training block, and then also just even the past week of running. It felt a lot more accessible to be able to run at the pace that I ran at. And I don't think really sharing pace is important on social media. Like it's not going to help you and it's useless shit, but just relative to what I was doing. And so I got super excited that my body just was starting to work again. To say if you're coming off an injury, there is hope. There is hope that your body can all work together. It takes a long fucking time, like 2-ish years out from when I was running that like faster pace, and now my body's finally getting back there. It's really beautiful to invest in yourself and finally see the results, because I feel like with a lot of stuff, you don't see results like on your body, you don't see results from taking supplements oftentimes. To know that I'm getting better as a runner just made me happy today. But I think I'm gonna go look at the Christmas markets and read the book about breathwork and try to find some mouth tape, because the book is making me think that mouth breathing is the worst thing in the world. So we'll chat about it in a little bit.
I'll get that. It works.
Happy Saturday, YouTube. It is our first long run of this season. We're running 8 miles today. I'm going to a holiday coat drive event put on by my friend Joe Holder. So I'm gonna run 5 miles there, and then there's a 5K. We'll see how it goes. It's hot outside, so Mama's wearing shorts and my new Mach 6s. I'll talk about these more later because I actually can talk about these, but they come out in spring 2024 and they're the perfect Barbie shoe. So let's get going. Got a little sunny angel and it's honestly my best friend. I don't know why I didn't get on the trend earlier. Anyways, happy Saturday. I ran 8 miles this morning and it took me a long time because it was like deep in Brooklyn, whatever. The point of this is that I'm headed to the West Side Highway to go read. I used to do this like every single night in the summer, but since the sun sets so early and it's also cold, it's not really enjoyable to go read outside like that, but I'm gonna go do it. So let's go read our book. Hi everyone, welcome to the book review part of the video. We're going to be talking about the book Breath by James Nestor. I had this book on my Goodreads for a while. I actually was going to read it in my New York City marathon series, but I never got around to it. Breathwork has become really important to me. I've talked about it in this video a few times, but I realized with my physical therapist that I'm pretty hunched over and it affects my breathing when I'm running. So this book's applicable not only for runners, but for everyone. And the book just talks about the phenomenon of mouth breathing, which is something that you don't really think about unless you read something like this, and then you're paranoid as hell thinking about mouth breathing the whole time. So the author James Nestor is talking about how we don't think about breath work in the context of modern medicine and the Western medicine system. A lot of Eastern cultures and traditions have practiced some form of breath work for healing modalities, for curing disease, ailments and such. But the author makes a distinction that this book is not, curing diseases like cancer. Like you can't change really severe things, like we still need modern medicine, but he talks about how when it comes to preventative healthcare, we don't consider the power of breath work enough. So in the book, there's an experiment that the author actually goes through with other participants, and the experiment is talking about nose breathing versus mouth breathing. Prior to reading this book, I never really thought like, am I breathing out of my mouth? Am I breathing out of my nose? I've heard of the nasal strips, I've heard of mouth tape. This book sort of made me paranoid about how often I breathe out of my mouth versus my nose. I never really think about that. It talks a lot about like how our skeleton has adapted because we have become a culture of mouth breathers. Our skull has changed, our jaw has changed. Of certain diseases that we have now, we aren't considering the power of breath work and nasal breathing to sort of help those things out. So the author actually puts himself in this experiment with a few other participants where for 2 weeks their nose is all plugged up and they have to breathe through their mouth. And then after that, they only breathe through their nose and they like shut their mouth down basically. And so it talks about his resting heart rate. It talks about his cardiovascular fitness. It talks about his energy and bloating, a lot of different ailments that you don't really think connects to breath work, and it's crazy the results that he talks about. Obviously, a lot of the data in the book is anecdotal. It's like his personal experience when he goes through this experiment. It does reference a lot of Eastern medicine traditions that have practiced the importance of breath work when it comes to things like yoga or just being aware of nasal breathing. And it talks about how we used to only eat as humans like raw food. Like we would eat when we were foraging and gathering and shit, and then like the standard American diet and just processed food, our jaws have become less resilient and we're not chewing as much. The book and anything that sort of blends Eastern and Western medicine, or just any book that's like a health theory, I always take it with a grain of salt, right? Like I'm not going to practice and believe 100% of everything that's in this book, but it is a food for thought to just consider different aspects of your health, different pillars of your health that you may not have even considered. Prior to reading this book, I did not really think about nose breathing, but as a runner, you know, my aerobic capacity is something that's really important, and I would say it's something that I'm not really good at. As I've talked about, I have a constricted breath pattern. He talks about people with sleep apnea in the book. He talks about athletes who want to consider their aerobic fitness, but then he also just talks broader about how breathing out of your nose can help with longevity and living longer and fighting off disease and preventing disease. So at physical therapy today with my PT Mike, we did a lot of breathwork stuff. I actually spent time breathing into a balloon, like laying down in this certain position to make sure I was accessing like my full diaphragm and getting a deep breath. So I'm about to become a breathwork queen, and I hope you guys check out this book. I found it to be pretty fascinating. Once again, not everything in the book I'm like fully buying into, just because it is like a theory of why we are the way we are, and I feel like there's a lot of, not gaps I would say, but there's other information that I would say, you know, gets us to the point of maybe why we're so unhealthy. It's not going to be only nasal breathing. So I would say read it if you're looking for like a little new area of health and wellness information to optimize, I suppose. I kind of hate using the word optimize, but it fit there. Anyway is always my filler word if you haven't noticed on any of my social media content. Like whenever I'm filming, it's just anyways, I go home to Minnesota on Wednesday. It's week 2 of Big Sur training as I'm filming this, but we'll start the next video, and I'm really excited to take you guys along the journey. Breathwork is a pillar of health that I feel like I can finally focus on because my body is not injured anymore, and the stress fracture was lingering far more than I think I said on social media. Like kind of all throughout the New York City Marathon training block, I still kind of felt not strong, not healthy, not 100% Kate, and now I'm feeling like myself. Obviously still going through a lot emotionally in life, but I feel like running is really my safe haven, and I'm so excited to document this journey with you guys. If you have any books that you think I should read for this series, please comment them below or DM me on Instagram. I have a pretty hefty Goodreads list of books that I want to read in the future, but I'm always open to what you guys have read if you think it could be interesting. And I don't really have the capacity to make this YouTube series into like a book club. I've gotten a few DMs about that. That's sick. I just don't have the time at the moment to facilitate that. But if you do want to read the same books as me, you are more than welcome. I will post them on my Instagram as soon as I get them, and let me know your thoughts, and we can always chat about them. Monday night, I'm gonna go consume some devil's lettuce and relax, and then wake up tomorrow and go on another training run. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll talk to you then.